guys, good morning, and I guess welcome to the first day of Vlogmas. I have been gone for so long, but my friends motivated me to do Vlogmas, and me and her are gonna hold each other accountable. Um, so yeah, I'm talking really quiet because Bri is sleeping. He is right here on my chest. You guys will get a chance to meet the little one, but not right now. So today, all that we do have planned, Brandon is at work and Bry's getting his newborn pictures taken today. So I'm so excited about that. And then I think that's it. I think my mom's going grocery shopping. My mom is here, but I think she's going grocery shopping. But other than that, it's a really chill day. So yeah, I'm so excited to do Vlogmas. I've missed making videos for so long, but I've been pretty busy, dealing with baby and all. Well, not baby, but just the pregnancy journey. Welcome back to, I guess, again, I'm sorry I keep disappearing on y'all. But there's a lot to catch up on, so I guess I'll be explaining everything throughout the video and future videos to come. Hey y'all, so I am currently breastfeeding. It is 11 o'clock and I don't great look like that, but we are just starting our morning for real. This is his 11 o'clock feed and he's pretty much gonna be out for the next 3 hours. So that'll give me time to, I don't know, do something because I cleaned up the room when he ate earlier before Brandon left. I don't know what I can do. Sorry, he decided he wanted to detach for a second, but yeah, I don't know. I'm so weird to do this again. It's like been so long, and it wasn't even like willfully that it's been so long. So everything just really moved very quickly, and it was just like I don't have enough time to catch anybody or anything up. So yeah. All right, so the last video that I did post was a year ago, and that is when I tinted my car. So during that time, it was crunch time for this house. So the house was being built from the ground up by a company called DSLD, and it was a very easy process, don't get me wrong, but once we moved out of the apartment, it was like I was at his dad's house for a little while, so I wasn't in my own space anymore, and it was just harder to make videos at his dad's house than being at the apartment. So after that, February was the closing date, closed in February, and what happened? March, I went on a trip with my best friends, my line sisters. Went to Houston, I believe, and then we came back from Houston, and that was towards the end of the school year, so it was testing. We weren't allowed to have phones, Apple Watches, anything, because it was state testing. And then after the state testing, I went to Mexico with my best friends. It was Crystal's birthday. Houston was for Kaylani's birthday, and then April was for Crystal's birthday, and we went to Mexico, Cancun, and it was an amazing time. We were with amazing people. And then I found out I was pregnant. And I was probably pregnant since March, and I didn't know it. So March, April, and then it was after my Cancun trip, I found out I was pregnant. So yeah. And then after that, I've been dealing with this crazy pregnancy. But before, it wasn't crazy until literally I hit 30 weeks, y'all. Like, the main issue that I had was preeclampsia. So I had swelling, but it wasn't in my face and my hands. It was strictly in my feet. So they weren't really worried about it because it didn't travel anywhere else. But what started to happen was when I hit 30 weeks, I think it was after my glucose testing, actually. So that was like 32 weeks, I want to say. I started to have high blood pressure problems. I passed my glucose test, and every test before then, like that I needed, I was fine with. Like my blood pressure, normal. The swelling, it would go away as soon as I prop my feet up. So the swelling really wasn't a big issue that they were worried about. But when my blood pressure started hitting 160 over 110, 161 over 114, they were like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and induce you on the 27th. His original due date was on the 18th of December. But because I had high blood pressure, and what really tipped him off was when I came into the office. Breathe, hold on. You gotta burp you, huh? Yeah. Come here, bud. There we go. Good job. Good job. I used to go into the doctor for my appointments, and then one time, that's when I first went in, and it was like, I think that very first appointment that I had, it was 157 over 103, and they checked it again, and it was 150 over 103 again. So they told me to go to the assessment center. And when I went over to the assessment center, they had me pee in a cup. And when I peed in the cup, there was protein in my urine. And because of the... Somebody got lungs on him. Come here. What's the matter? And it was because of the protein in my urine that I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. So they had me do a 24-hour urine collection. Basically for 24 hours, I had to pee in this like pail or a hat thing, and I had to pour it into this huge jug. And they knew I drank a lot of water, so the lady was like, I'm gonna give you 2 just in case. So she gave me 2 jugs, and thankfully, if I had to go another hour, I was gonna need another jug. And they were huge jugs too. But yeah, so I had protein in my urine, and I think we're supposed to have 500, like below 500, and I had 700 milligrams. I forgot the unit of measurement that they used, but I had 700 in my urine. So that's when she was like, yep, you definitely do have preeclampsia. And it was then when I had to go, I went from normal pregnancy to high-risk pregnancy, and I started seeing my doctor twice a week. Yeah, twice a week. So with me seeing her twice a week, it was a ultrasound and then an office visit. And then normally it was ultrasound one day, office visit right after, because they wanted to check my blood pressure. And I kid you not, every single time I went to my doctor's appointment and they checked my blood pressure, they had me go to assessment center, which basically was the emergency room technically. And I would be in the assessment center for hours. I stayed overnight in the assessment center one time. And then I had one office visit. I think I was 34 weeks. She told me to go get admitted. And when I got admitted, I went upstairs. It wasn't labor and delivery, but I forgot what it was called. And they basically kept me for 2 days. And then we had the baby shower, which you guys will be seeing the video very shortly. Crystal recorded everything I asked her before she came. I was like, hey, I know I'm gonna be meeting and greeting with a whole bunch of family members. I said, can you please record as much as possible while the meeting and greeting is going on? And she did. She told me not to watch any of the videos, so I did not, but she sent me like a little rough draft copy of what everything looked like. But it's my copy because it has a copyrighted song in it, so That's my copy only. And then I'll be posting the one that's non-copyrighted music. My nose looks so yeah. Everybody thought he was gonna come before the baby shower, and honestly, I did too. I was thinking he was like, y'all aren't having this baby shower without me being there. So he definitely gave me a day. And that Thursday, I had everybody coming into town, and I ended up in the assessment center yet again. And I was just so worried that I wasn't going to be able to leave and wasn't going to be able to make the baby shower. And I broke down crying in the hospital. And Brandon was so supportive, and he's just trying to keep me calm. But again, I have really bad anxiety, so I was just like freaking out over everything. And I think I was mainly freaking out because I was like, what if they take him today? Like, what if they take him right now? And like I said, I think I was 34 weeks pregnant. So I was just nervous, but they ended up giving me two steroid shots. And basically it was just to make sure that if he needed to come out, his lungs would be developed, just to help his lungs develop, I guess. Don't mind my nails, y'all. I'm sorry. But just to help his lungs develop, that's why they gave me the steroid shots. Went back to work, and it was a Tuesday. I would never forget. And I was sitting at my desk, and I just didn't feel right. And I said, let me check my blood pressure. And I brought my blood pressure. You guys can see it right there. Where is it? Right there. I brought my blood pressure cuff to school with me that day. And I kid you not, my blood pressure was 159 over 113. So I got my teacher mom. I love her to death. My teacher mom is next door to me. And I was like, hey, I'm going to go get Casey, which is our assistant principal. And I was like, I need to go. And she was like, what's wrong? And I took a picture of it because I was sending Brandon updates of my blood pressure all the time. And she was like, yeah, you need to leave now. She was like, I'm gonna send one of the kids to go get Casey. So she came down and she was like, you okay? And I showed her the picture. And she was like, oh yeah, you need to go right now. So with that being said, I left. I came home for a little while trying to lay down and get myself together because I just knew once I go to this doctor's appointment, I was going to get checked into the assessment center yet again. And I don't know if you guys can see it. It's probably going away now, but I was bruised both arms because literally every time, it was always Tuesday and Thursday. I went for an appointment, got checked into the assessment center. They always put an IV in my arm, and most of the time they could not find my veins. Other times they blew my veins, so I was a bruised mess. And this one was my latest one. It's finally starting to go away though. But I was tired of going, so I was like, let me try and get my blood pressure as low as possible. So I laid on my left side and I just tried to relax. And then I got up, went to my appointment, and got checked into the assessment center. And when I went to my appointment, that was the highest I think I ever was. I was 163 over 114. And they said, Jaleesa, we've had too many of these occurrences. We're going to put you on bed rest. So they put me on bed rest. That was my last day. And to this day, I miss my seniors to death. I teach seniors now, so that's a story for another time. Excuse you. So that's a story for another time. But I left school that Tuesday, and I have not been back since then. I was on bed rest. I made it to my Thursday appointment. Got checked back into the assessment center. And then it was the weekend. I forgot what happened that weekend. I'm not sure. But the week after is when things kicked in full gear. That first Tuesday, had an ultrasound doctor's appointment. Everything was always fine with him. I was full of amniotic fluid, so that looks perfect. The umbilical cord showed blood flowing through it. He was passing all of his wellness checks, so they were looking for him practicing his breathing, which he was always doing well before 30 weeks. He was practicing his breathing. He was doing his movements. He was head down. I forgot at what point they told me he was head down, but he was head down. And what else? They showed me his 4 compartments of his heart. They showed me his lung. Like, they just showed me everything. Like, and he passed every single time. So he was always fine. It was just mama that needed to figure out why the heck her blood pressure was so high. But it was that Thursday appointment that she was like, we've had too many of these. We're going to have to go ahead. So they kept me Thursday. Yeah, they kept me Thursday. And it was an early morning appointment too. That's the crazy part. I never make my appointments that early, but because I was no longer at school, I went ahead and made my appointment early. So I waited I didn't want Brandon to come then, but when they told me the plan of action, I had to call his school. And basically, they thought the baby was coming now, but it was one of those things where we definitely thought they were going to induce me that day. So nobody wanted him to miss it. So he ended up rushing to the hospital from work. But they didn't. So the plan of action was they gave me, I forgot what it was. Something with an M. I want to say it was magnesium sulfate, but I could be wrong. You opened your eyes? Mama talking too much? Hey, handsome. They gave me, I think it was magnesium sulfate. And that first night of that was horrible. Basically, every single time that they gave me 10 cc's of it, I want to say it was 10. I think it started off as 5, then they increased it to 10. And they kept giving it to me because my blood pressure would not go down. So she kept giving it to me. And then finally, my blood pressure did go down. So when it went down, she could stop giving it to me. I could be wrong. Because now that I think about it, the magnesium sulfate was in an IV. And that was horrible. But she was injecting something. Not sure. But when it finally, she stopped injecting me and everything, basically the whole plan was to have the magnesium, I want to say it was magnesium, have the magnesium flowing. At 2 a.m. they were going to start the drippage of the Pitocin. I was doing a completely natural birth, so no epidural. My doula even advocated for me to make sure, they knew I didn't want an epidural. Although I'm getting the Pitocin, she doesn't want an epidural. And then as well as she wanted to see if they would be able to stop the Pitocin drippage at a certain time. That way I can see if my body would run its course naturally. So at 2 a.m. they started the Pitocin. I was only 1 centimeter dilated, I believe they said. And instantly I just knew I was like, I'm in for a long night. That magnesium, whatever it was, they had it too high. So when I say I was in and out of sleep, the only time I woke up was when I felt a contraction. It was an intense contraction, and that was the only time that I woke up. So my doula was like, I think her medicine is too high. So they had me pee. No, they took more blood. They took blood from me. When they took the blood from me, that is when they agreed. They saw my blood work. They were like, yeah, we're going to turn it down. It was too high. So they turned it down, and I was able to come to, whatever. And I was there. I felt every contraction. I was already feeling the contractions because I woke up to them. But what they did to speed up my dilation process, they inserted a balloon down there. And the morning that they took the balloon, the next morning, the 19th, when they took the balloon out, I was 7 going on 8 centimeters dilated. And what happened after that? So I basically had to let everything run its course. I was just breathing through the contractions as much as I can. And then around 3 o'clock, that's when everything got a little hectic. I kept saying, I feels like I have to use the bathroom. Like, it feels like I have to use the bathroom. And I looked at my doula and I was like, Sid, what does it feel like when you have to push? And she was like, it feels like you have to take a poo. I was like, well, I think I have to pee right now. So she was like, okay, what do you want to? I was like, I want to try and go pee. So when I was having my cycles from when I was a kid, I always used to sit on the toilet for comfort. And I sat on the toilet and I was like, I think I have to poo. And she was like, I think we need to get you off the toilet. I was like, okay. So she sat me on the birthing ball. She was doing like pressure points, showing Brandon how to do the pressure points. So she did them, and then she showed Brandon, like, this is how you do it. And then he did them on my lower back. And I was just trying to breathe through the contractions. And I said, I think I need to use the restroom. Keep in mind, this is my first kid. So, of course, I didn't know that, girl, you don't need to use the restroom. You are literally about to push this, you're literally about to push this baby out. So yeah, he was born at 4:03. His mom was on his phone. My sister was on my phone. Her and my niece were on FaceTime, and it was 51 minutes, they said, from the time I started pushing to the time that he came out. It was 51 minutes, but the full term of labor was, I guess, from 2 a.m. to 4:03, so that's like 14 hours. But the birthing part of it, it was only 51 minutes. And again, I did it with no epidural. It was, I'm going to insert the video so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. But for the longest, it was count to 10, breathe, okay, catch your breath, 1, 2, 3, hold your breath again, let's count to 10, try and push. And at one point, I remember saying, I can't. But I wasn't saying I can't to the fact that I couldn't push him, because I knew I could have, and that's what I wanted to do. I was saying I can't to the nurse, and I love this nurse to death. Her name was Erin. She was amazing. And I was saying I can't do it that quickly, but my head wasn't like cooperating with my mouth. So everybody was like, yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'm thinking to myself, I know I can. But what I'm saying, literally, y'all, it was like, okay, hold your breath and count to 10. And I was pushing, holding my breath. And then I was like, okay, catch your breath. 1, 2, 3, do it again. And it was like, I can't do that. I can barely hold my breath underwater for 10 seconds. Like, what? You want me to hold my breath, take a 3-second break and do it again? No, I just couldn't do that. So what worked for me was, at one point, Brandon and Erin both put my legs back down. And when they put my legs back down, I felt him, and I could see him in the mirror. I wanted to see him, so they brought me a mirror, and I can see his head in the mirror. And looking in the mirror, I kind of like very chillly held my breath, and I started to push with my feet down. And they were like, are you pushing? He's coming out. And I was like, yes, like shaking my head like, and they were like, okay, you're doing perfect, you're doing perfect. And when they picked my legs up, fluid flew out, and he came out right after. And it was amazing. It was an experience that, do I want to go through all the high blood pressure and the IVs and the anxiety and the doctor visits again? No. But the birth was amazing. I had the greatest support system that I could ask for. Had the best doula that I can ask for. She's pretty much like an honorary auntie now. But it was an amazing thing to see this little one get brought into this world. His name is Brylan. We call him Bry. He was born at 4:03 p.m. on the 19th. He weighed 5 pounds, 8 ounces. He was 20 inches. And he is everything. And that was part of the reason that I went AWOL from YouTube for a little while. Alrighty, so we are T minus almost 30 minutes out from when the photographer's supposed to get here. I just have on a Happy Mama shirt, a necklace my dad made me, and of course my little guy right here. He's not too happy with me. She doesn't want, well, she recommends, I should say, feeding at least 30 minutes before she arrives. So he's gonna eat in a few minutes. Just want him to calm down first. But so yeah, I'll try and get in some behind the scenes of the photographer and his little photo shoot session. All right. Hey y'all, I'm back. It is 6:22. I just got done pumping. My mom is giving Bri a bottle because he decided to wake up when I pumped till I'm empty. So I couldn't even breastfeed him, but I'm glad he knows how to latch on the boob and take a bottle at the same time. So that's really good. But so yeah, she's just gave him a bottle. I'm waiting on Brandon to come home because I'm ready to take a nap. I'm tired. But so yeah. But I might go ahead and end the video here because I'm super duper tired, and as soon as Brandon gets in, I'm gonna take a nap and he's gonna be with Bri up until about 11 o'clock. So I'm gonna get that little 5 hours in. So welcome back to my channel. If you guys like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them in the comment section and I'll see them. Yeah, peace out.